contributing editor to residential systems. And with me today is Margaret Block, Luxury Shades Business Development Manager at Lutron.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for having me here today.
Uh, I'm so thrilled to be discussing a topic with you today that is truly one of my favorites, shading.
Mine too.
Yes, I would imagine. So, Margaret, Lutron is very well known for its lighting solutions. How long has it offered shading options?
Yeah, Lutron's been in the shades industry for a long time, over 25 years. And we, really got started with a roller shade that was intended to be, ultra functional, offer sheer privacy, an aesthetic solution. And over, the last couple decades, we've really launched a lot of really groundbreaking, innovative products in the roller shade space, with other styles like Venetian blinds, horizontal sheer blinds, drapery, and soft treatments. And it's really become a category that Lutron's fully invested in, and that we are helping custom integrators get into every day.
Well, and we'll talk about this more later. I was at your factory uh, about 2 years ago, and I know you've opened up a new one. We'll talk about it later, but I could not believe the amazing amount of fabric choices. I just couldn't even believe that, and types. So, why would dealers incorporate shading into their portfolio?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, when we think, about your custom integrator and maybe what they might be responsible for, your mind immediately goes to AV solutions, right? Home theater, security, surveillance. But really, when we think about what an integrator is hired for, it's to create an experience, right? To create an unforgettable, unparalleled experience in all of those spaces. And what's kind of fun is lighting and shades affects every single one of those experiences. So if you're creating a custom home theater environment for this optimal viewing and sound experience, how the space is lit matters a lot, right? If you're creating even just a nice comfortable TV room and you have harsh daylight coming in, that space is no longer comfortable. So the automation of shades, the introduction of intelligent, really dynamic lighting is so crucial to all of the categories that integrators carry today. And that's why we're so excited to talk about it. And we think everybody should be able to offer some portion of these solutions to their clients.
Absolutely. So I am like 1,000% on board with this because I really truly love it. But isn't shading something that the interior designer offers?
Yeah, interior designers are absolutely involved in the selection and design of window treatments. It has such an impact, design and aesthetics wise, on a space. When we think about how custom integrators can get into this category, we often talk about how they work in tandem with an interior designer and how they can really make sure that the solution is fully integrated. So I always encourage integrators to find out who the designer is on a project and work directly with them to figure out what is your plan for the window treatment, right? What is your plan to cover the windows and manage that light? Let me help you show all the different ways that you can automate that and how we can make it really easy. And integrators oftentimes can focus on function first, right? So what is that shade going to do? Is it going to be, a sheer let light through, or is it going to offer really true privacy for that space? How do we handle the heat coming in? How do we integrate with the full automation system and provide that type of expertise to the designer that might be picking fabrics and materials and the overall aesthetic?
Yeah, I know this has been a bit of a push pull, and uh, interior designers and integrators working together. I mean, it's becoming more common, but that's it's just that little push to get over that intimidation. Honestly, I think from both sides, and as I mentioned, when I went to the factory, I honestly, I'm a fabric person also. I couldn't believe the amount of fabrics that were available from the things like just what you had mentioned, whether it's blackout shades or shears to control some of the lighting, um, and just an amazing amount of fabrics that interior designers would just die if they saw.
Yeah, and it's come
Uh,
a long way, I think. When we first got started with roller shades, it was very basic. It was sheer materials, fiberglass, polyester materials meant to be very performance forward, right? But over the years, so much technology and innovation has gone into the fabric space. So the ability to get high performance um, and quality out of really nice textured materials, there are just so many options these days. And so one of the big focuses of Lutron is to make sure that we have a broad spectrum of fabric options from the performance materials all the way up to those bouclés, the jacquards, the materials that look like linen but still function like a
well,
high performing roller shade.
yeah, and I think that's critical, because Lutron has tested these fabrics, right? To make sure that they work.
Yes. Yep. Just like we test our products, we test all the fabrics that are coming
Right.
in.
So I would encourage integrators and dealers watching this to bring some interior designers on, or your homeowner customers to watch this, because you'll be convinced. I'm absolutely sure of it. So, alrighty, I know I went to fabrics first. Let's discuss the different types of shading options available.
Sure. So certainly we offer roller shades, and roller shades, come in a variety of styles depending on whether you're on a project that's new construction. So the shade can be mounted inside a pocket and recessed into the ceiling, completely hidden when it's open. Um, or if you're in a home, that's existing and the windows are already built out, we have several surface mounted fascia options, a variety of different styles there, as well as an exposed option. Called Palladium, which really mounts right onto the surface. It's intended to be seen. Beautiful hardware. And then outside of the roller space, we like to play a lot with layering, and this is really fun when you do have an interior designer on the project that's interested in adding some drama to the window. So having a functional roller shade in the window and then having an automated drapery over the top of it really allows you to have full functionality and full drama in that space. So beyond that, we do a lot with Roman shades. We just launched a new wire-free battery Roman kit, which allows you to put a multitude of fabrics on a completely wire-free piece of hardware that goes into the window. So that gets you Roman shades wired or wireless, and then horizontal shear blinds, which gives you really nice vane control so that you can manage the light coming in a variety of different ways. Wood blinds. There's so many different styles out there that we want to make sure we offer automated solutions for.
Absolutely. So there's a few new innovations I want to give you an opportunity to talk about. There's, I think, four new ones in particular.
Yes. So just recently in September, we were at the CEDIA conference, and we were really excited to talk about a couple different categories that we've made some pretty enormous innovations in. The first one that I'm particularly excited about is this feature called natural light optimization. And what's really cool about it is it it's a system-based feature that allows you to know the position of the sun, and when you put the orientation and facade of your windows into the system, it actually knows when that facade is going to experience direct light, and it will change the position of your shades to manage that light. Now, not only does it know where the sun is, but you can also pre program customization. So, for example, if you know that that room has a beautiful view and you want to optimize that view as much as possible, it will actually change how the shade behaves, knowing that input. Another example is if you have a room that gets a lot of direct sunlight, gets very hot, and you really want those shades to manage that heat, it'll actually allow the shades to be closed more often when it has direct sunlight on that facade. So it makes programming easier for the integrator, but it also creates a really nice intuitive experience for the homeowner.
Oh, that'd be great to not have to go around the house and pull down the shades in the middle of this middle of a hot day.
Yeah. And the wonderful thing about this feature is it works on our Homeworks QSX systems and Radio Raw 3. But if you have shades on a project that you installed in the last couple of years on a Homeworks or Raw 3 system, your integrator can actually go back and turn this feature on for you. So
Oh,
it kind of makes the systems that were installed in the last couple of years even better.
yeah, nice. That's the beauty of technology today. It's their upgrades versus rip and replace, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm really excited about is, in addition to the intelligence and performance we're adding to roller shades with natural light optimization, we also think it's really important to help um, make it easier and more accessible to get automated shades and to get into automation. So we just launched a product called Triathlon Select. So this is a roller shade that is ultra simple. So very simple brackets. It's a exposed roll, simple to measure. We have a new measuring tool that allows you to really get clear bracket measurements and enter that into our tool. It's a battery powered solution. And it's really designed to have a small subset of options so that it's easy for integrators that really, haven't gotten into shades before, maybe a little intimidated by the hundreds and hundreds of fabrics that we offer and not know where to start. It kind of streamlines those options and makes it easy to get into shade. So that's Triathlon Select, and it just launched this year.
Great. I know you mentioned earlier Palladium, which I've seen, and they're just, that line is just beautiful. And you've got some new finishes.
Yeah, so we launched this year an aged bronze finish. And if you're familiar with our keypad selections in Homeworks QSX, the finish that we're introducing to Palladium Shades actually matches the Elise bronze keypad. So it's our first brass bracket, a true brass substrate that's been aged and just looks excellent with like a creamy or white colored fabric. Very, very authentic finish.
Nice. So you mentioned wired and wireless. So tell me a little bit about that because I'm thinking wire-free shades, battery operated. How often am I going to have to get up there and change the batteries? And tell me, why would someone choose one versus the other?
Yeah, it really comes down to flexibility, right? We never know when an integrator, when a designer, when someone's going to decide they want automated window treatments, and we don't want the products that we offer to limit those selections. So certainly if an integrator's on a project early and the walls are open and they could run low voltage wire, get power supplies into the walls, that's a great option because then you set it and forget it. Those are installed in the pocket. You don't have to think about them again. But that's not always the case, right? Sometimes, it could be new construction, but the wall's been closed. They decided to add them later on to certain rooms. You need to have a wire-free, simple to install solution. And so we've really expanded our wire-free options to a variety of different styles, different aesthetics, different finish options so that no one feels like they're boxed in depending on when they bring up shades at any point in the project. And the great thing about this is, we first started getting into battery powered shades over 10 years ago. And so we have lots and lots of experience with the space and are really proud of the battery technology we've put into our shades. So you can get 3 to 5 years out of a single set of batteries. It's truly amazing.
That is amazing. Tell me a little bit more about how lighting systems and shading works together. You talked about the time of day, but if you've already got uh, a Lutron system in your lighting system in your house, how does the shading integrate into that?
Yeah. So if you kind of think about any room in your home, we really see the window as the greatest source of illumination in your room. It oftentimes is, right? And so when you're thinking about illuminating a space, if you're not thinking about the shade, you're kind of ignoring the biggest portion of where this lighting is coming from. So we always think about shades as a light source, right? The window is a light source, and we have to think about it in tandem. So we obviously make very intelligent light control systems and lighting fixture solutions. And what's really interesting about how we design the systems is we think about both being applied to the same space. What that means is, we spend a lot of time thinking about how daylight changes over the course of the day, right? Very, very bright and cool color at midday, and then warms and softens, into the afternoon, and how your electric interior light can actually respond and follow that, as well as how your shades can accommodate the harsh glare and can raise to let in that soft light. Both of those working together is how you really create that really comfortable, beautiful environment in the house. And actually, that's what optimizes these other solutions that integrators are putting in their audio solutions, viewing solutions, all of that.
if you're near one of the Lutron experience centers, it'd be great to take your clients. So tell me a little bit about your experience centers.
Yeah, so we make significant investments in creating these immersive experiences that are open to the public. So you can make an appointment. Several of them have walk-in hours where you can bring your client and truly experience dynamic lighting and automated shades moving in realistic scenarios. So we've built out living room environments, kitchen environments, bedroom environments, so you can really experience what that feels like. So we have a couple spaces in New York. We have a design studio in LA. We have a wonderful space in Austin, Texas, spaces in Florida. And we are actually just opening a design studio in Toronto as well to really, kind of level up how you can talk about that experience and show people what this looks like in real life.
And I've been to a few of your experience centers, so that takes you right from outdoor lighting right through to uh, lighting throughout your home, plus all those different shading experiences that you're talking about. So if you can actually get to an experience center, it really helps make that feel very real. So definitely would recommend that. And I'd love to hear about your shading facilities. As I mentioned, I was at the one of the first shading facility a couple of years ago, and I understand you have a new one.
Yeah. So our initial shading production facility is in Ashland, Virginia, and this category has been growing so much, and we're looking to really invest in infrastructure to keep up with the growth of the category. And so we just opened a brand new state of the art. It's like 150,000 square feet of manufacturing space, and it's exclusively for shades, and it's very, very close to our original facility. There's a beautiful outdoor pavilion that combines both of them, but it really is going to help us invest in new technologies, and potentially offer more fabric options, and really answer the questions that integrators are looking to us for when it comes to innovation in the shading category. So we're pretty excited that this is now open, and we're excited to see what happens with it.
Yeah, congratulations on that, by the way. So
Yeah.
for dealers where shading is somewhat foreign, how do they get started?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is just to really understand what the opportunity is. And it's not to walk away from a shades opportunity, because if you're in the home and you're talking about creating these environments, the lighting and shades is part of that environment. So that's the first thing, understanding that piece. I think the second thing I always talk about is start out small, right? Rather than going into a brand new construction home where you're trying to figure out where the wire is going to land and where they have to route to and how to measure for a window that doesn't even exist yet. Start with an existing home, right? Measure for something that's going to be surface mounted or inside mounted into existing trim. So measurements are simple. Our battery solutions installed with just a couple screws on each side. Um, Fabric selections, if you get in contact with a Lutron rep or someone on the Lutron service team, we can recommend the fabrics that are most commonly chosen. So if you feel hesitant about looking through hundreds of materials, we can help you get started. So I think start simple, start with a couple. I always recommend starting in your own home, because one, you'll love living with the shades, but two, you'll feel a little bit comfortable experimenting with measurement and installation, and just kind of understanding how big of an opportunity this is, and how big of a potential additional revenue on every single project the shading category could be if done right.
And you mentioned that you're there to help, and I think that's really important. You know, you're not saying just go start on your own. Lutron really has a very strong team to help get dealers started. Um, if there's any questions at all.
Yeah, we do. I mean, not only are we in regions across the country with our local and field teams, but we have 24/7 tech support. So at any time of day, if you are choosing to install your shade and you're a little bit confused about how it might go in, you can call us and someone's going to pick up the phone and help talk you through it. So we're really proud of that. We've had that for decades, and it's kind of one of the reasons people choose Lutron is because we're there to help you get into this category and help you through it.
All right, final question. So where should they go to look for more information?
Yeah, I would start on the luxury.lutron.com website. There's a lot of great photography, great information about our shading category. And, if you're not doing shades yet and you're interested in getting started, we have a section on that site that's called Become a Dealer. So reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you and answer questions, take you through an experience center, and show you all of this in real life.
Great. Well, thanks, Margaret. It's been a really a pleasure to talk with you, and I hope everybody gets to shading.
Thanks, Cindy. This was fun.